The Ottoman Empire was one of the largest and longest-lasting empires in history, spanning Europe, Asia, and Africa. It influenced trade, culture, politics, and religion, leaving behind a legacy that still shapes the world today. The Ottoman Empire was a bridge between East and West, shaping trade, culture, and politics for centuries. It controlled key trade routes connecting Europe, Asia, and Africa, making it a global hub of commerce and innovation. The empire introduced remarkable advancements in architecture 100 years. Welcome to BritBuzz. Today, we're embarking on an epic journey through the entire history of the Ottoman Empire, a civilization that once spanned 3 continents. The beginnings, 1299 to 1453. Foundation, the rise of Osman I and the establishment of the Ottoman state in 1299. Osman I, a tribal leader of a small Turkish principality, BritBuzz, in Anatolia, laid the foundation of the Ottoman Empire. He united neighboring tribes and began expanding his territory by taking advantage of the weakening Byzantine Empire. This small state, centered in northwest Anatolia, was strategically located near key trade routes, giving it the potential to grow into something far greater. Osman's leadership, combined with a strong warrior culture, set the stage for the empire's rise. Expansion, early conquests and the transition from a small bloc to a regional power after Osman, his successors, particularly Or, his son, and Murad I, continued to expand Ottoman territory. They moved into Europe, conquering parts of the Balkans and securing key cities such as Bursa, which became the first Ottoman capital. These early victories strengthened their control over trade and built the foundation for a strong, centralized state. By the mid-14th century, the Ottomans had transformed from a small, local principality into a rising regional power, challenging established states like the Byzantines and competing Muslim dynasties. Capture of Constantinople, 1453, Sultan Mehmed II's conquest in 1453, Sultan Mehmed II, known as Mehmed the Conqueror, achieved one of the most significant victories in world history by capturing Constantinople, the Byzantine capital. Using advanced military technology like massive cannons, Mehmed's forces breached the city's formidable walls after a 53-day siege. This conquest marked the end of the Byzantine Empire and transformed Constantinople into Istanbul, the new Ottoman capital. It was a symbolic and strategic victory, turning the Ottomans into a major global force and solidifying their control over trade routes between Europe and Asia. The Golden Age, 1453 to 1606, height of power. The reigns of powerful sultans like Suleiman the Magnificent. The Ottoman Empire reached its peak under sultans like Suleiman the Magnificent, reign 1520 to 1566, known as Kanuni or the Lawgiver. Suleiman expanded the empire's borders, strengthened its economy, and introduced groundbreaking legal and administrative reforms. His reign symbolized power and stability, making the Ottoman Empire a dominant global force. His court also became a hub of culture and diplomacy, fostering an era of prosperity and influence. Territorial expansion, conquests in Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. During this period, the Ottomans rapidly expanded their territory. They seized Hungary, reached the gates of Vienna, and dominated the Balkans. In the Middle East, they claimed key cities like Mecca, Medina, and Jerusalem, cementing their role as leaders of the Islamic world. North Africa came under their control through conquests of Algeria and Egypt, allowing them to dominate Mediterranean trade. This vast empire stretched across 3 continents, making the Ottomans unmatched in their reach and influence. Cultural achievements, flourishing art, architecture, and governance. The Golden Age wasn't just about military conquests, it was also a cultural renaissance. Ottoman architecture flourished, led by master builders like Mimar, who designed iconic structures such as the Suleiman I Mosque and the Suleiman I Mosque. The empire became a center of art, music, and literature, blending influences from Europe, the Islamic world, and beyond. Ottoman governance was also highly sophisticated, with an efficient bureaucracy and legal system that balanced centralized power with local autonomy. This period solidified the Ottomans as cultural and intellectual leaders on the world stage. The decline begins, 1606–a 1683, internal struggles, political instability and weakening central authority. By the early 17th century, the Ottoman Empire faced significant internal problems. Sultans became less involved in governing, often leaving key decisions to court officials and advisors, which led to corruption and inefficiency. The powerful Janissary Corps, once the backbone of the Ottoman military, became politically influential and difficult to control. These internal power struggles weakened the central authority, making it harder for the empire to respond to external threats and manage its vast territories effectively. Military stagnation, defeats in wars, such as the failed siege of Vienna, 1683, the once dominant Ottoman military began to stagnate as it failed to modernize while European powers advanced their armies with new technology and strategies. The empire suffered several military defeats, culminating in the failed siege of Vienna in 1683. This marked the turning point. The Ottoman forces were repelled by European coalitions, and the empire lost its aura of invincibility. From then on, it shifted from being an expanding power to a defensive one, struggling to hold on to its territories. Economic challenges, competition with European powers and the loss of trade dominance. The rise of European maritime powers like Portugal, Spain, and later the Netherlands and Britain, shifted global trade routes away from the land-based routes controlled by the Ottomans. This economic shift reduced the empire's income from trade and weakened its financial base. At the same time, inflation and the devaluation of currency caused further economic strain. Competition with European economies, combined with internal corruption and mismanagement, deepened the empire's economic troubles, contributing to its decline. The long decline, 1683–a 1800s, military decline, technological lag and defeats by European powers. As European powers advanced with modern weaponry and military tactics during the 18th and 19th centuries, the Ottoman military fell behind. The once feared Ottoman army, including the Janissaries, became outdated and inefficient, resisting modernization efforts. This technological and strategic lag led to a series of humiliating defeats in wars against European powers, such as Russia and Austria, and the loss of significant territories like Hungary and parts of the Balkans. The empire's inability to compete militarily weakened its position in global politics. The sick man of Europe, internal rebellions and external threats. By the late 18th century, the Ottoman Empire earned the nickname the sick man of Europe, reflecting its declining power and influence. Internally, the empire faced uprisings from diverse ethnic and religious groups seeking independence or autonomy, such as Greeks, Serbs, and Armenians. Externally, powerful European nations like Britain, France, and Russia competed to exploit Ottoman weaknesses for their own geopolitical gains. These combined pressures exposed the fragility of the empire and its dwindling ability to maintain control over its vast territories. Reforms, attempts at modernization during the Tanzimat period, 1839–a 1876, in response to its decline, the Ottomans initiated a series of reforms known as the Tanzimat reorganization period. These reforms aimed to modernize the military, administration, and economy by adopting Western models. Key changes include abolishing tax farming, guaranteeing rights to all citizens regardless of religion, and modernizing the legal and education systems. While these reforms slowed the decline and brought some progress, they faced resistance from conservative factions and struggled to fully stabilize the empire. Ultimately, the reforms couldn't reverse the empire's deep-rooted problems. The fall of the empire, 1908–1923, the Young Turk Revolution, 1908, efforts to restore constitutional governance in 1908, the Young Turks, a reformist political movement, led a revolution to reinstate the Ottoman constitution of 1876, which had been suspended by Sultan Abdulhamid II. This marked the beginning of a new era aimed at modernizing the empire and restoring its former strength. While the Young Turks introduced reforms and sought to centralize authority, They faced significant challenges, including ethnic tensions, resistance from conservative factions, and the loss of territories in the Balkans. Despite their efforts, internal divisions and external pressures continued to destabilize the empire. World War I, 1914–1918. The Ottoman Empire sides with the Central Powers. The Ottoman Empire entered World War I on the side of the Central Powers, Germany and Austria-Hungary, hoping to regain lost territories and restore its prestige. Instead, the war proved disastrous. The empire suffered heavy losses on multiple fronts, including the Middle East, where British-supported Arab revolts weakened Ottoman control. Notable events like the Gallipoli campaign showcased moments of Ottoman resilience, but overall, the war drained its resources and further fragmented its territory. By the end of the war, the empire was on the brink of collapse. The empire collapses and modern Turkey is established. 1923. After World War I, the victorious Allied powers partitioned much of the Ottoman Empire under the Treaty of Versailles, 1920, leaving it a shadow of its former self. Nationalist resistance, led by Mustafa Kemal Atatürk IV-RK, opposed foreign occupation and fought for Turkish independence. Following the Turkish War of Independence, the Ottoman Sultanate was abolished in 1922, and in 1923. The Republic of Turkey was officially established with Atatürk IV-RK as its first president. This marked the definitive end of the Ottoman Empire and the beginning of a modern, secular Turkish state. Legacy of the Ottoman Empire. Cultural, architectural, and political legacy. The Ottoman Empire left an enduring cultural and architectural legacy. Iconic structures like the Hagia Sophia, repurposed as a mosque, the Blue Mosque, and the Topkapi Palace showcase their mastery in blending Islamic and Byzantine styles, setting new standards for monumental architecture. Culturally, the Ottomans were known for fostering advancements in calligraphy, ceramics, music, and literature. Politically, they introduced efficient governance systems, such as the millet system, which allowed religious communities autonomy under Ottoman rule. This system influenced later models of multicultural governance. Influence on modern Turkey and former territories. Modern Turkey owes much of its identity to its Ottoman roots. Istanbul, formerly Constantinople, remains a cultural and economic hub, shaped by its Ottoman past. The legal and administrative reforms of the empire laid the groundwork for Turkey's modernization under Mustafa Kemal Atatürk IV-RK. Beyond Turkey, former Ottoman territories in the Balkans, the Middle East, and North Africa retain Ottoman influences in their architecture, language, and cuisine, reflecting centuries of shared history. Global contributions, art, cuisine, and administration. Globally, the Ottomans made lasting contributions in art, cuisine, and governance. Ottoman art and textiles, such as intricate carpets and ceramics, are still celebrated today. Their cuisine introduced staples like baklava, coffee, and kebabs, which have become global favorites. Administratively, the empire's blend of centralized and local governance inspired later empires and modern nation-states. The Ottomans demonstrated how a diverse, multi-ethnic empire could function effectively, leaving a legacy that transcends borders and continues to influence the world. Transition to conclusion. Summarizing key takeaways. From a small frontier state to a world empire. The Ottoman Empire's journey from a small frontier principality in Anatolia to a vast, multi-continental empire is one of the most remarkable stories in history. Over 6 centuries, it grew to dominate Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa, influencing global trade, culture, and politics. The Ottomans were pioneers in governance, military innovation, and cultural integration, leaving an undeniable imprint on the regions they ruled. Reflecting on their significance in shaping the modern world. The Ottoman Empire's legacy is deeply embedded in the modern world. From the architecture and cuisine of Turkey and the Balkans to administrative practices seen in former Ottoman territories, their influence is still visible. The fall of the empire also reshaped the geopolitical landscape of the 20th century, particularly in the Middle East and Southeast Europe. Understanding the Ottoman Empire provides crucial insights into the roots of modern nations and global interactions, showing how history continues to shape our present. What fascinates you most about the Ottoman Empire? Let us know in the comments. Call for interaction. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more fascinating stories. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more fascinating documentary.